I'm recording the making of a SketchUp model that we're going to use for interior design communication, and probably for advanced interior design communication as well. So I've done a little work beforehand, so I'm going to describe, basically tour this model and describe what it is that we see here. There are a set of layers that I've created. So I have a model which was actually originally done in Revit architecture, but now we're going to do it from the ground up in SketchUp. So that model is a two-story building, two-story accessible building. It's actually modeled after a project I built in Litchfield, New Hampshire. So we have a CAD underlay for floor 1. This is the first floor. We have a CAD underlay for the second floor, which is placed at the elevation of the second floor. We have CAD underlays, cross and longitudinal sections, and they're placed exactly where they belong. So if I cut a section through the actual model and exported that slice, if you will, this is exactly the line drawing result that'll happen, and we'll do that after we're done modeling. And then we have a cross section. Let me turn off the long section just so that it doesn't interfere with the legibility. And there's the cross section. As you can see, it is lined up with a section marker, and it cuts through the stair looking in this direction so that we reveal that vertical circulation. Now, I've created a layer for the first floor walls, and I'm going to just show where we are with that right now. So if I turn on visibility of that layer, I have the outline in a group, the shape of those walls, which we can extrude using push-pull to the height where it belongs. So how high do we want to extrude it? Well, since the CAD underlays are placed at the appropriate elevations, we can simply snap to an edge of that CAD underlay. So it's actually 9 feet 4 inches, which is a multiple of 7 inches, so that we can develop an even number of risers with stairs. Because the walls are already grouped, when I close this group, those set of lines were grouped. You can see that that group forms is its own entity. So if I turn off the AutoCAD underlay, this is what I have in my model so far. So I'm going to repeat exactly that process for drawing on the underlay for floor 2. Let's turn on that underlay. Let's create a layer for walls floor 2, because we're going to use that. It's very important to organize work in layers. Always model, group, push to a layer. And let's turn off the walls on floor 1 for now, for clarity's sake. So if I were drawing directly here, I'd want to go to a top view to start to create the outline of the walls. There's several ways of going about it. Basically, you draw on top. I have shadows on, so it's casting a shadow. Let me turn that off so it doesn't interfere. So first thing you do is outline the entirety of what you're drawing here, just so that you could, so we're clear about that. That's a rectangle that encompasses everything. And one way to do this is to subtract out the parts that don't belong. So you continue to draw geometry from the inside face of wall to where you can find it. So there's the that bedroom area, there's the inside face of walls of the closet, inside face of walls of the bathroom. This is an irregular shape, so I may have to do this in parts. There's some geometry here that are that's some line work for illustrating accessibility clearances. That's why you see a circle and a rectangle indicating the necessary clearance on the push side of the door and the pull side in front. Let's take out this elevator area. So I'm just drawing rectangles that represent the wall edges, exterior edges and interior edges, so that we can subtract them from each other. Alright, some extra line work. I'm not sure what that is. We'll see in a minute. Okay. That ought to do it. Have we got everything? Oh no, we need this room as well. I will pause this video after I've created the outlines for this area. That extra line may be the thickness of the finish on that wall surface. So that once I've done all that, now you can use the erase tool to select. Oops, I didn't want to erase the AutoCAD file. We should actually lock that. Let's select the polygons and just, oops, we have an area that we need to subtract out. So this goes, that goes, that goes, that goes. There's an edge there that needs to be removed. Did we draw around the top? Yes. That still needs to be drawn. This is a new wall, so we'll have to deal with that separately. Let's go and draw this rectangle and that remaining rectangle. Practice makes perfect. You need to do a lot of this after a while. So there's a short wall. I think we have all we need for our wall outlines. They're a little easier to see when you switch off the visibility of the underlay, the CAD underlay. Okay, so we've got some extra lines that we want to remove. So all we want to be left with is a shape that represents the outline of the walls. So there it is. We will provisionally extrude. Okay, you can see we have one extra line. Let's undo that and see where the offensive line. Okay, we'll have to deal with that. That's okay. So it looks like the thickness of the finish came over in the AutoCAD file, so this wall is a little irregularly sized. If we turn on the visibility of the section, that'll be convenient to establish how high the walls need to be. Right, so the walls need to reach the underside of the roof. You see we have a ceiling and then a roof above it. This is a two-story flat building. So let's select that shape, push pull, and I'm going to snap to an endpoint that is to the underside of that roof. Did I do that? Yeah, I think I did. Okay. Let's triple click, group those walls, and move. Right click at Entity Info. Let's push that to the walls for floor level 2. We will have to make an adjustment to what is supposed to be a knee wall here. So that's going to be a little bit of a geometry lesson, which we'll conduct separately. So that we'll stop the video there. About 12 minutes seems reasonable, and we'll continue shortly.